tonight. We about to open this shit up, spread the room, let it fly. Let's go, step it up in these hits. It's time to show me what you got. Now it all comes out the room.
Yo, what's up, everybody? What's Gucci? Never Say Die crew. Never Say Die gang. Just trying to get this up onto my Instagram story. Wait, am I live? Okay, there we are. Why am I not getting the chat here? This is really annoying. Okay, I'm just gonna have to watch the chat on my phone, I think. It's a little annoying. Yo, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the Never Say Die Twitch channel. And it's me, Spag Heddy, taking over that Twitch. I hope that this unit is not gonna drop. Okay, so I'm gonna have to read the chat on my phone next to me, because it's not showing up in my OBS. Epsilon, Karen, Deza, Infinite. Yo, Robbie, how are you, man? Good morning to ya. Good morning to a lot of people. Sharks, yo, how are you doing? Hexagon, Jag, welcome. THP Games. It's 8 p.m. for me. Just got the little one to bed. And I actually gotta stay a little quiet. But okay, let me open up FL in the background. It started. So normally I'll have my chat showing up like next to me here. But I have no chat now, because I'm connected to the Never Say Die Twitch. Okay, let me open up FL in the background and hope that everything works. 8 p.m. for you, Sharks. Yo, what's up, Canspire? Robbie, doing well, brother. Looking forward to seeing the Mixer channels all lined up. Ooh, baby. I might have touched him a little. Wait, I'm gonna put my phone here. Ah, no, that's not gonna work. God, this is a little annoying. Maybe I can put my phone here. We can read the chat. You go to bed at 8 p.m. Lol. I wish I could go to bed at 8 p.m. and sleep forever. Hexagon, Spag, you've been doing a lot of trap stuff. I love it. I mean trappy stuff, I guess. No, not like full on trap, but I noticed myself too that I've definitely been adding some more trap influence, like a hybrid trap kind of things into my tracks. Let me open up. There we are. Ooh, look at this CPU. Oi, 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 oi. Smart disable. Oh my goodness. My CPU is going through the roof on idle. You can open a Twitch chat in its own window. Yeah, so Sharks, the thing is that I'm streaming. I'm like logged into my Streamlabs on. Oh, I got some skipped frames. I'm streaming from my own stream OBS, but like to the stream link of Never Say Die. So like I'm not connected to their chat room and nothing. Oh man, I tested this today though, and CPU wise, it worked fine on my test thing. I think I just gotta keep hitting the smart disable here the whole time. Wait, I'll stream my desktop. Yeah. Alright, so I don't got a lot of time, so I'm just gonna. How many people do I have in here? Alright, we got a few people in here. You gonna blow up, mate? Yes, I'm afraid it will. Well, it will bring some sensation. No, I'll just keep the. I prefer to not open anything anymore on my computer to save CPU, and I'm just watching on my phone. There's also a mad delay. I'm just gonna dive into the track, guys. I'm also recording. Maybe that's also what's costing extra energy for my computer. Yeah. All right. So here's the track. OBS performance mode. Dude, if they could do that, like how they do in Fortnite. So, let's see. The project was started in 2018, in September 18, and I've got a total of 14.5 hours on it. But you can definitely take an hour off because of just having it open. So yeah, let's get into it and let's hope that everything works smoothly.
Spag, Heddy, Infinite. Let's go.
K9, where he is? I don't know where he is, but last thing I heard, he was fine. That's all I know. That's also a while ago. Yeah, let's just start from the beginning, yeah? The plug is Nexus. So it's just a really easy plug. The ballad bell plug. And it just goes like this. Let's see what post-processing I have on it. So some OTT, a bit of equalizing, and then a filter that I don't think I'm even using. So it's very little processing. Then that's what Nexus looks like now. I just upgraded to this Nexus, this new one, like this week or last week. And I kind of regret it. I like the old school design. I might go back to the old one if I can. I just haven't used it that much till now either. But yeah, this is the new Nexus design. If you right-click the screen on OBS, you can turn it in performance mode. I mean, I should probably do that. I should have done that before. Wait, can I do that here? Okay, so far I'm fine, I think. If I see more skipped frames, I'll try that out.
Spag, Heddy.
So yeah, there we have our Robbie vocal coming in.
Spag.
Robbie saved the track because it needed a vocal really bad, and Robbie has that energy and that grunge that was needed for this track.
Spag, Heddy.
So here, without effect,
Spag, Heddy.
or like pitch down, and then
Spag, Heddy.
I'll go into the vocal in a moment.
Go. Buckle up, strap yourselves and get ready. Got my foot slammed on the.
I'll start from the top, okay? So here are the drums. I'll just solo these. So I sidechain here above. These are the trigger notes. I sidechain here this channel with volume shaper. This is the shape that I used. So it's got a on a quarter note. It's got a pretty long silence and then a very steep curve. The sub bass is in massive, just a simple wave. Got some Remedy drums in here. So this is a Remedy snare. This one, super gangster. Very overused, I'm aware of that. But I added some extra shizzle. Did a little bit of layering. So the snare has why is my keyboard, like the one moment that I want to use my keyboard is not working. My MIDI keyboard is suddenly not working. This is going absolutely great. Post-processing on the sub. Okay, so this is the sub. It has a low-pass filter on it and a little bit of tube distortion and a parabolic shaper. And then the post-processing is a little bit of wave shaping, as you can see. So I took it from there to here. It's basically adding distortion / saturation. Cut off the frequencies all the way down here and up until a little under 200 hertz. And then last but not least, the Fruity Soft Clipper. So without post-processing is this. I don't know if you guys can hear the difference. Yeah, there's a lot of OTT in the track. Not on the sub. Rip. Oh, is my stream down? I don't think it is, no? Alright, so I added a clap to our gangster snare. It's a good old Vengeance Spag clap. I love to use the old school claps. It just has some equalizing on it. So without clap and with clap. Hi-hat, not much interesting, just a bit of equalizing, as you can see. Alright, let's go into the more interesting stuff.
Buckle up, strap yourselves and get ready. Got my foot slammed on the gas, I'm pulling up with spaghetti.
Vengeance still go hard. I mean, yeah, I like the claps of Vengeance. Snares are pretty cringe nowadays, but yeah, with a bit of post-processing and editing, you can still get very dope sounds out of Vengeance, man. Alright, so I have this saw that keeps on going here.
Get ready, got my foot slammed on the gas, I'm pulling up.
Which one is this? This one? I think this is also Nexus. Yeah, but you could easily just, as you can hear, it's just a super saw, so you can just like take seven voices or more, and it has a bit of OTT, a little bit of equalizing. Yeah,
Yourselves and get ready. Buckle up, strap yourselves and get ready. Got my foot slammed on the gas.
And then you hear that whoop on every first beat, and that's this, I think. So that's basically a stack that I made in the beginning of the next track.
Buckle up, strap yourselves and get ready. Got my foot.
So this is a stack. So this is this. So that's this one. That's a silent. Very simple shape with see a little bit of pitch bending. Just on every first beat. What do you think about the cymatic drums? They're great. They're great, most of them. Some are a little too clean and a little too overprocessed in my opinion. But there's a good handful of them that I use a lot. I like the hybrid trap sample pack by what's called Grime. The Grime pack by Cymatics.
Buckle up, strap yourselves and get ready.
So yeah, the vocal. So Robbie came up with these super dope vocals that already sounded really good by themselves.
Buckle up, strap yourselves and get ready.
Take the effects off right now.
Buckle Buckle up, strap yourselves and get ready. Got my foot slammed on the gas.
So, you know, they're not bad at all. I did do some post-processing on it, as you can see.
Buckle up, strap yourselves and get ready. Buckle up, strap your.
So
Buckle up.
first I had everything linked to this number 29. So there's some OTT that mostly brings everything up. And a little bit of gain. Some
Buckle
equalizing
up, strap yourselves and get ready.
to get rid of some of the doofs and the mid-highs. Bit of sound goodizer to make the... I like sound goodizer on A to make the voices a little bit fuller, a little bit warmer. But usually not much more than this though. Never further than halfway. After that, use another OTT to bring up sound goodizer again, because it like kind of brings the volume down. And then in the end, a little bit of equalizing again in the high frequencies. And with 3D balance, do some ultimate volume control.
Buckle up, strap yourselves and get.
So one layer is this. I can also just take these away.
Buckle up, strap yourselves and get ready.
So that's the first layer. Second layer is this one. So that one is on. So they're on 42 with some another OTT, mostly upwards and a little less downwards compression. Again, those cuts in the equalizer, a little bit of saturation, and a bit crush. So that's only on this one, I think? Is it on all of them?
Buckle up, strap yourselves and.
Oh, that's on all the vocals. Okay.
Buckle up.
And then a third layer on 44. Okay, that's just an almost not audible, but you know, it adds that asset layer to the vocals to make it more full.
Buckle up, strap yourselves and get ready. Got my foot slammed on the gas, I'm pulling up with spaghetti. Last time we bring this heat to the streets. About to do some proper damage with this fresh batch of beats. Let's go.
And like, of course, the little fillers are always fun. I don't know if I have the post-processing. So this is just a pitch down.
With spaghetti.
Pitch down with spaghetti. I believe it's from an earlier take that I got from Robbie. So pitch it down, and then added a ring modulator on it. When you turn this frequency down all the way to here, you get this really nice sort of rippling effect in it. It's very cool.
What was spaghetti? Last time we bring this heat to the streets. About to do some proper damage with this fresh batch of beats. Damage with this fresh batch of beats. Let's go.
He also says more spaghetti, I think. The spaghetti.
Fresh batch of beats. Let's go. Face to face, staring straight in the eye. We got to.
So this build-up, I resampled it, as you can see here. When it's called RS, it means resampled. I resampled it to have volume control towards the end, to bring a little bit more impact on the vocal, and have the drop hit harder. So, but the original build-up is this.
Face to face, staring.
So
Face to face.
we got some crashes here. Here a sweep that comes from the Vengeance sample packs.
Face to face, staring straight in the eye. We about to open this.
I don't think I made any sweeps myself in this project.
Face to.
And then of course our bass, just a resampled bass from the drop, with some filtering on it, like a high pass filter and a low pass.
Face to face, staring straight.
Comes up, comes up.
Face to face, staring straight.
And then with the kick.
Face to face, staring straight.
But yeah, I resampled all of this into this one right here.
Face to face, staring straight in the eye. We about to open this shit up, spread the room, let it fly. Step to us, yeah, you wanted a show. You had no problem with it talking now. Let's walk it up.
Okay, and then this drop here. How does low filter work? So when you add a low filter to something, you can make like all these different filters that affect each other, like starting from one. It's a chain basically. I'm not. I'm just like really used to using a loft filter, but you can use any other filter really. I like to use it because it's quick. So here you can choose which filter, so low pass, high pass, and then here's your cutoff, resonance. That's really it, man. Low filter looks a lot more complicated than that, but like you can make super interesting things with low filter by, you know, first do a high pass and then another filter here, and you can connect those parameters to your X and Y and play around with that. A lot of possibilities in low filter. Infinite murdered this already, killer track. Thank you, Epsilon. All of it is fire. Yeah, so low filter is just it's just a collection of there's a lot of filter types in there. I usually just use it for SVF, low pass and high pass. Ooh, I really gotta turn my voice down. So here we have here's the build up, and then it goes into this little super suspenseful draw. No, let me open the original sounds. I love this little pre-drop. So without the vocal, it's this. I think it brings a lot of suspense because it's the bass. It's a bass drop. So this one, it's just like a tape stop effect that I did not make. It comes from a sample pack. Spin back and tape stop effects. And then of course the bass comes up with a filter, and then this is a I don't know if this is per se a secret, but I like to add a lot of vocal shouts on backgrounds in my tracks that are often not even maybe recognized as vocal shouts, but like you might think it's a special effect or a bass. But yeah, Vengeance has these cool all these cool vocal shouts here. And if you just add that to a pre-drop, it builds so much more suspense. And then yeah, a sweep up. Pretty easy easy job here. And then of course with Robbie. Oh, and the drums. I made these drums myself. You have a bunch of drum fills that I use a lot. So the drum fills come in with a high pass filter. So the drums without post processing is this, and then with post processing, some pretty heavy OTT, a high pass filter, a little bit of dimension expander, so to make it a little wider, and then a bit of cutting in the boofy area and the high mids, and then so altogether, real nice pre-drop. I like it a lot. So then we come to the drop. Let me check my chat. Clever use of the murder samples. Yeah, man, I love using them. There's a few more of them in the track coming up, I believe. So now we come to the drop. The drums, I believe, are the same. Yeah, so it's our gangster snare with our Vengeance clap. And an open hi-hat. I really like silence hi-hats. The X-Silent sample pack. I like to use his drums a lot. So yeah, his hi-hats are sick. What's the post-processing on the hi-hat? Okay, just a cutoff. Alright, so yeah, let's just go into the basses. That's probably the only thing. So all of these basses are pretty much all of them are massive. And I made one this project is originally called Laffy. Don't ask me why. I don't know how I came up with that. Majik says, so did you do everything besides the vocals, or did Infinite help with the rest of the song? Infinite is just the vocals. I did the production of the track. That's why it also says Spag Heddy featuring Infinite, or else it would have said Spag Heddy and Infinite. I'm sure we'll do a track together in the future. I don't see that not happening. You know what I mean? So here's the bases. I made a bass here called Laffy Duck. Alright, so this is the bass that I just made. All of these, so Laffy 4, 6, 3, 5, are basically just little variations to this original one. Conspire, I was about to ask you why you named the project Laffy. Now that I look at the name of this bass, it's called Laffy Duck. It probably came from Daffy Duck, because I probably thought it sounded like a duck screaming. Face to Face 2 will happen one day. Let's make it happen, man. Ooh, I have to bring my voice down. The little one's sleeping next to here. So this is the bass. It's just a heavy, like eight voices unison, without unison spread. It's just this, and with what I always like to do is I take an envelope with a slow attack, and then connect that to the pitch cutoff, and then you get that kind of wah screaming unison sound. Be careful with phasing here. I run into phasing issues a lot. It's just a matter of just tweaking a lot until that's kind of gone, I guess. So it's a band reject filter on here with a sine wave shape and a bending 5. I use bending 5 a lot in Massive, also a lot in combination with the sine wave, and then I have an LFO that brings so that the curve starts from the top into there. So you can make different shapes in Massive between your what am I saying? The curves. So the curves you can just play with those, and in that way you're making new curves. So you can't really draw like you can in other synthesizers. But yeah, most importantly here is the band reject. I have two band rejects. Let me hit a smart disable real quick again. Is filter 2 doing anything? No, it's not even doing anything. LFO 5 is also connected to the volume of the bass. So it's the needle, dirty needle wavetable. These two are off. Always using some phase modulation. As you can see, I use LFO 6, sorry, to... Oh, is that even... I don't think, so it's not working at the moment, I think. But originally I was using it to modulate the pitch. So yeah, a little bit of white noise, important. Clipping, hard clipper on halfway. Okay, I think I'm going very long into my basses. So that's basically the original bass, and all of these are variations to that, as you can hear. In the effects, there's a little bit of chorus to make it wider. Reverb, a small reverb also just to widen it up a bit. And then the equalizer, bring the boost and frequency down. And so you're modulating the equalizer. Alright, so yeah, man. These are variations. So alright, that's the later bass that I'll go into later. So as you can see here in this variation, I brought the bend reject way lower. See? Okay, now I'm messing up the basses. And then it's just playing around, and as you can see, it's called Bass 8 Merged. So, and here's all my bass patterns. So I've been making a lot of different bass patterns and just played around and then merged. Just, you know, cut kind of like this. You just make bass patterns, you just throw them here, throw them there until you find something cool, you know. That's I believe pretty much what I did here. Okay, now I messed this up. So I have to make this one longer. Okay, this bass is also massive. What bass is this? So that's also just a Laffy Duck bass, but then the LFO on 1:16 ratio. Need to hear this track live? Me too, man. Me too. You have no idea, people, how much we DJs also miss the shows to, you know, not just for the crowds and the fans and everybody that comes, but also to hear your own tracks on a big system. Alright, so let's go further. Here's a bass called Horny that I'm not using. Let's see what this is. I've muted it? Okay, it's not even working. Doesn't matter. So, and on every first of the beat, I have a... this bass, I believe, is Harmer. Yeah, so this is a Harmer bass. Sounds like there's... Yeah, so there's a classic distortion on it. As you can see, the phaser here, you put the speed on 0. I've made a curve in the width of the phaser, so you can hear that that's making the entire sound. It's just playing around with it. See, that's what makes the sound. Like this phaser in Harmer is like super powerful. So originally it's like just one of those standard presets of just stock presets of FL that I turned into different basses. The Veer code. What do you think about the use of presets? Like I just said, like in Harmer, I learned a lot about the Harmer by just opening presets and see how everything is connected and just making my own tweaks to it until at some point I understood Harmer so well that I can make a lot of those sounds from scratch. And you can experiment in Harmer a lot. You know, the smallest tweaks of the phaser buttons, for example, can make entire new sounds. So it's really fun. So here we have another... another of my fills. And this sort of... someone on YouTube or SoundCloud commented that it sounded like a horse. And it's actually a scream, as you can hear. I just thought it sounded really cool. Like, it's kind of random, but I think I was probably looking for something high-pitched, and I thought it sounded really cool. And so these first hits of basses are also Harmer. So it's called fuck bass. As you can see, this sound is also started with the Ugly Cyborg preset, where I'm using the phaser on condom shape and then on the Harm phaser scale. With it looks like I used the thick chorus to give a bit of width, give a bit of girth to the sound. Oh yeah, and also compression in Harmor, very very sick. It's kind of OTT within Harmor. It's not as strong as OTT, but yeah, you can like over compress here in. I like to use the burning and the heating mode. You hear how it makes it super fat. Yeah, the distortion does a lot. Just some classic distortion, not all the way full even, but it's already enough. On a square, here's the square wave. What else? Yeah, also here the story is you just gotta modulate the width knob in the Harmor. And the offset you can also change. Okay, in this case it doesn't do a whole lot, but with phasers also halfway. 9 voices, a little extra so a harmony layer that Harmor adds. Very useful to make your sound a little bit fuller as well. And a slight notch in the prism that gives it a bit of detuning. Oh, what's the post-processing on this? Holy crap. I haven't even shown you guys the post-processing in all of these bases. So pretty much all of them are connected to one single channel called bars new. So without the post-processing, we get this. And then with... Let's go to one of the main bases. So this is without. So OTT does a lot, as you can hear, a lot of upward compression, very, very deep. Some equalizing after the OTT. After I use OTT, I almost always put an equalizer where I bring these frequencies here down around 3k hertz. And vocodex I use as a reverb here. So if I would turn this up, you hear how it adds voices to, like, richness to the sound. And if you just add that a little bit, it can make your basses a lot fuller. I added some disperser to make it give a bit more bubble. I don't know how to explain what this disperser does, but it kind of adds a bubbliness sometimes if you put it on the right frequencies. It can make your sound a lot crispier and bubblier. A big reverb, as you can see, with a long decay for those little fillers here, as you can hear. Just fill up that space and bring some suspense in the silence. Then with FabFilter is a better EQ than Fruity Loops' stock EQ. I feel like it's better quality. So sometimes if I want to be more precise, I'll use Pro Q2. So you can see that on the side, I made a cut here in this area, and then in the mid, a rougher cut at 3.6k hertz. Space Cat. Oh wow. Okay, so my chat was stuck, I guess, because now suddenly a lot of chat is coming in. You saw so many comments that said horse neigh? Yeah, it's actually a scream. It's not even a horse. You the master of those little reverb automations? Not really, man. It's easy. It's just an easy filler. Sometimes they're not even that audible, but like if you would take it away, you notice it. See, it gives more impact on that snare when it has a little reverb before it. So pretty much all of these basses are connected to the same post-processing chain of this one. Oh, I forgot to show you guys. So I also add some ozone imager to the bass. I'll show you the difference. Oh, this is a different chain. Okay. I was lying. Those basses that are coming up are in a different chain. So this, without imager, and with. making it all red, but hey, we're colorblind in producing. So here I add a bit of width to the stereo image. Is the sub in the drop the same as the intro? Good question. I don't think so. Let's go to the sub bass. It might be, actually. I have 2 subs. So happy that my MIDI keyboard works again. This is my main sub. And then I have another sub that's gonna come for the last drop. That's just a sustain. You can hear that. So yeah, it is the same sub. Important for the sub that you... I mean, it's probably not going to go wrong, but if you add a lot of post-processing, sometimes you get unwanted added frequencies, especially in FL. I heard that the EQ can add some unwanted frequencies. So sometimes you wanna make sure that this is on mono all the way, unless you wanna effect with your... You wanna do some cool effect with your sub and bring it all stereo and add reverb to it. Go crazy. So those paka. I know, I want to go to the higher ones. So here's also a bit of layering. Let's look which basses we have. So it's this one. It's just a very short bass in Harmor. Massive. Sort of a laser effect, also with 8 unison on a spread, band reject, reverb, and what else? So with Serum I bring a bit of lower grunge. So it's a Skrilly phaser filter and compression. And I feel like the main high bass... I know, that main high thing, that's this one. Okay, here we go. So you can hear that... That's the main high pitch bass. So like the layering does a lot. If I take away these and these, you can see how it fills up in like a lot of the frequencies. So yeah, I'm looking at the time and I kind of want to go through it a little quicker. At some point I've had all the basses and it just kind of repeats on through the whole track. So here it's this stack that I was talking about in the beginning. So it's just a laser in silent. And then a big super saw with what is the post-processing, OTT, equalizing, and a little bit of stereo enhancer. And what is that bass? Ah, that's the same layer, okay. No, there is another layer. Zidlond, thanks for the inspiration. Yeah, you're welcome, man. I hope that people get inspired by this. As you can see, I don't dive super deep into production. I just like to be quick and like to be efficient. I have projects where there's a lot more sound design involved. Here it's not too much. It's mostly in the basses. But you know, it's about composition somewhere. So here it's also just playing around with that pattern. let's see where this bass is. So you can see the pattern. So yeah, that's the bass patterns. And what I love in this part here, the suspense, is like that voice of Robbie that really made it perfect. That raw right there. This was so brilliant that Robbie sent in all these little extra snippets. I think it gives so much impact to the next bar. So good, so good. And then, what's this bass? That's also Harmer. Yeah, so it's that same bass that I showed earlier, but then a variation. As you can see, a different phaser with curve. And also here using the Hertz mode and not harm. Those can give very different results. And not forget, I like to use rides in my songs. Oh, where's that ride? It's right here. So Vengeance has a bunch of really cool rides. So simple but so good. Okay, my MIDI keyboard is not working. I think adding a ride gives a lot of drive to bars. How do you sidechain? So here in the top, I always have my sidechain, the trigger notes, which is just like it's just one MIDI note. So what I do is you just add a MIDI. Here you select a port, doesn't matter which number, and then in your mixer, you just connect whatever sound you want to have sidechain. You route it to your sidechain mixer channel. You can either for example, put a fruity balancer on it and then create an automation clip in your volume. Or you can do volume shaper and then just draw this curve. And then you just gotta connect here to whatever port number you put in your MIDI. So just on one is fine. So then whenever this MIDI note hits, volume shaper gets triggered. Have you ever used the F8 plugin picker thing? I do, man. I do use it every now and then. It's pretty easy. If you want to look something up, like Serum, it's highlighted and you can drag it into something. But I agree with you. Usually it was the browser. It used to be the browser shortcut. I kind of wish it was still the same like that. But you know, it has its really it has its pros and cons. Okay, I know that a lot of you people want to go to that Q&A, so I'm gonna try to be quick through here. It really is just repeating the same sounds here, just in different patterns, you know? Yeah, it's just finding those cool little fillers. That you hear is also a vocal, I think. Another Vengeance Spag thing. Also, people, I started this project in 2018, and then there has been like months and months, years of not touching it, and then this year I wrapped it up. So a lot of these sounds that were thrown in were from 2018. And I've always wanted to finish this track because I thought it was so dope. I thought it had a lot of potential, and I'm happy that I finally finished it. So here, vocal shouts from Vengeance. So you just take whatever vocal and you just chop it up, and there you have your effect. There's not even any post-processing, just a little bit of stereo enhancing. It switched to Alt F8. Yeah. Davrico, Godzilla or Kong? Kong, obviously. I gotta be quiet. The ba 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 is so sick. Yeah. That happened to your Armageddon EP pretty much. What do you mean? Like what I just said about old tracks? Not all of them were old tracks, I believe. But you know, if you're like me and in your younger years you've been making tons and tons of beginning of projects that never get finished. At some point you want to finish them. You know, there's always a few that's always stick in your head. Like they just stick there. Like wrap that up, man. It's like almost there. And some you just forget about, and you know that's fine. Okay, we have our midsection here, which is a impact that I just loop into a loop, and then that loop just fades out with a reverb and a filter. Our plucking is coming back up, and then here Robbie's vocal. So that's just his vocal with some.
And get ready.
So with some equalizing, just a band pass, you can make an old telephone effect. A little bit of distortion and a low pass. Why is that filter on? Well, there's some distortion on it. OTT, another equalizer, and then a very fast delay.
Buckle up, strap yourselves and get ready. Got my foot slammed on the gas, I'm pulling up the spaghetti. Face to face.
And here the drum beat, I just resampled the drum beat for a few bars and then just added some effects to it. So a lo-fi bit crusher in a Vector, and yeah, also here some equalizing. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Face to face, staring straight in the eye. Let's go, step it up in this hit. It's time to show me what you got. Now it all comes down to
So here with the vocal, I liked to do this little chopping right before the drop. I don't know, I just really love that effect, and it's just a very simple chop. Just put it on 1-2 step, and you just gotta choose the right moment and make the chop here a little bit smaller towards the drop. So here the cut a little bit less. Alright, so the only new bass here pretty much is just this screechy thing. Oh, I'm missing some chat, sorry. Kong, why? Would you say Godzilla? There's nothing better than opening an old project than being like, yo, like this is fire. Absolutely. I love that feeling, man. Especially when you're stuck with all your new projects. You just gotta go back through your old ones and boom, you're inspired again. So nice to hear that even the best bass music producers come back to old tracks. Everybody does that, man. Everybody. You know, because from good to bad producers, like from pros to beginners, we all make tons of new ideas that we never finish, but like those ideas might be really good and deserve finishing. So here I resampled the bass, the screech. The original bass is this. It's a little bit changed. I'm not sure what happened with this project, but this sound got a little messed up. Like there's some brightness gone. It might just be this. But this is the screech. Oh, let me turn up that reverb. So in that same in the same effects chain. And it's just that same laffy again, but a way higher pitch. So you can see that I pitched it up here to 36 in the phase modulation. And you can hear that really fast movement. That's just the LFO on 32. So if I turn this down, so that modulates the bandwidth, and I turned it off on the volume. So I bring this up to 32. You can hear the movement. It makes it like a lot grittier. Just add it a little bit. And then you can hear the pitch going up and down as well. That's LFO 6. You can see that I added that to the oscillator pitch to -6 and also to the phase modulation. and also to the color of the white noise. So for the rest, the effects are turned off, except for the reverb and the chorus. But yeah, that's pretty much this. That's pretty much the sound. If I bring this down, you can hear that we're going a little bit more to the original. See? So if I bring this pitch all the way up to 36 and bring the LFO back, then we get that really cool high-pitched effect. Okay, let's turn that back off. And yeah, what I did is just change the pitch there throughout the project. And also, so I have one sub bass that is good for the normal basses, and then I made a separate sub that's just a sustain. As you can see here, no LFO. So here again, the drum fill, another vocal from Vengeance. I need to bring that reverb back. The King, Godzilla, I don't know, man. Godzilla just moves. He moves so sluggish. Kong is like so much more flexible, right? He can jump into things and shit. Godzilla is like big and strong, but he's just sluggish. This also makes me want to get Massive back out. Man, I still love Massive a lot. I'm just so used to it. How much of this song did you make in one sitting, if you remember this? I mean, I just showed. I have a total of, well, now including this stream, 15.5 hours. It was on 14.5, I believe. So that's spread out of like, you know, more than 10 sessions for sure. Definitely more than 10 sessions. Maybe like 20 sessions, and of which a lot, the last ones were all like very short sessions because I don't have a lot of time. Massive just got a thickness to it I've never been able to get out of Serum. I don't know. I mean, Serum is definitely better, but it's what you're used to. It's definitely true. If you know, it's about how well you know a plugin. If you know a plugin to its core, you know every ins and outs, then yeah, then you could personally make it fatter than using a different synthesizer. But I mean, to be fair, Serum has more options, more possibilities. But I love Massive a lot, man. I still love it more than Serum, to be honest. The screech reminds me of After All main bass. Kinda, yeah. Godzilla as the king of monsters. You guys don't know what you talk about. You don't know what you're talking about. So I'm not sure what all these bars knew. So all these purple automation clips were probably from older basses that I made, where I was modulating the LFO of the sub bass. This is a new bass. This is a more stabby bass that comes into the end. Okay, I'm almost gonna call it a day, people. I know that it's past 9 p.m. So this is a Harmer. So you can hear that that Serum layer gives that grunge in the low. So this is just Serum. This is with Massive, and then with Harmer. So it's just layering. You know, you just gotta layer your mid, your lower, and your higher frequency. You kind of, that's how you want to layer your basses. Not make it too crazy. Here, another effect, the vocal shout. This is a little secret, sort of secret of me too. It's kind of connected to what I showed you guys earlier. I love to use vocals or like random vocals from sample packs, like this vocal shout here. Like this is the vocal. What I did here is I stretched it all the way so it fits here. And does it have any effect? No, just some stereo. So what I did, I put it on stretch mode so that it stays the same length, but I bring it from here to down. So listen to this. So this is the original sample. And if you just bring it down and bring it back up, then you add some suspense. There you go, you made your own riser just there. He brings the smoke. Godzilla got the little T-Rex arms. They're not as little as a T-Rex, I think, but he does have little arms, yeah. Massive X, the best synth? Ugh, it's not. Layering is genius. Oh, my layering is horrible. You gotta watch Sultan on layering or Company. Company is like a master at layering. I'm very basic at layering. But like what I just said, it's just common sense. Like, if you want to layer your sounds, then make sure that they're not all in this exact same frequency, and that if you have a bass that you like, have one layer sort of smooth, a smooth sustain, and then you want to have a layer that's more grungy, and then you want to have a layer that's maybe more screamy, and then those together create like a round kind of sound. So here introduce some triplets. Yo, I'm digging that people are still here, even though the Q&A, I guess, just started. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I'm almost there, though. So here, adding some triplets. As you can see, it's just that same bass pattern, that same bass, but now on 16. It's a triplet though, so I make it short. Let's see. So yeah, go here to 1-3 beats. What I do a lot is instead of just doing one, so if your track is an E, instead of just simply doing an E, instead of just doing an E, you can create a lot more movement if you have it pitched down real quick from, you know, for example, from here, or pitch up. It's like almost not audible, but believe me, if you do this, you will hear. If you don't do it, you will hear the difference. Here, these basses, I like them. They're very tweedy, very bird-like. Here's also some layering going on. Let's see. So it's a very short bass in Harmor. Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much all the same. Oh, instead of a square, it's this shape. Layered with this one, with Sandman, which is on 12 pitch. Let's see, what else did I do here? It's band reject. I think that band reject, it's on a very high resonance. That's what making that tweety, yeah, it's making that laser kind of sound. So layered with that one, And then, and you know, here the same thing. You want to have like a lower layer to fill it all up. So then we have serum. Oh. And here the same thing. Damn. Yo, Perry Wayne, how are you, man? Gorilla Smack, how did you make your main bases? If you weren't here during the whole stream, most of the bases come from like the same base pattern that I just made some variations to. This is pretty much the main base. So it's a needle. It's just one oscillator. This one's not even working. It's one oscillator. It's on dirty needle. With a band reject filter that does a lot of the work. As you can see, I have LFO5 on it with a bend 5. Best shape and massive, in my opinion. I love it the most, bending 5, in combination with a normal sine wave. Just put that on your band reject and on the volume. I use 2 band rejects here to play around a bit with the effect. And it has some phase modulation. That's not even working because I had it on 2. It does work. Wait, the ring modulation is on. So the ring modulation actually makes it, gives it that grit, or gives it that that talking effect. Alright, so a bit of white noise, hard clipping, and a bit of bit crush. And then the post-processing on most bases is the same. It's this. It's an OTT equalizing. I use vocodecs to add a bit of unison to it. OTT disperser, just a little bit. A bit of cutting in the mid-high frequencies in the like the harsh area, and then some ozone imager to make the bass is a bit more stereo, and that's it. So yeah, this counts for almost all the basses. The ring mod is interesting? Yes, ring mod is very interesting. I didn't mention that yet, but I actually use it a lot. We stick it out like wet noodles. You do. All right, yeah, I'm almost on the end of the track. Oh, the kick. The kick is a decap kick. Pitch down, as you can see, two notes with a big boost. So you can see it's just a big ass sausage. And then I did I made some a landscape. I made the landscape of Mordor right here, and this is Sauron's crib. And then OTT on the kick. I don't remember doing this, but apparently I did. Like, man, I say this every stream. Every stream that I'm doing with production, I know I do ridiculous stuff, but this is just how it works for me, man. Alright, so I didn't talk about the master chain yet. This is the last thing. On the master, I have ozone. I usually do this already from the beginning. That's why some of my sounds are so extremely boosted, but not clipping. That's because on the master I have dynamics on, which is basically just it's a multiband compressor and limiter. So I always just turn on all bands on and then either bring everything compression almost to the top. I don't really touch the ratios. I think they're pretty decent how they are by default. And you kind of want to compress a little more in this area and then a little less here, and then towards your highs you can compress a little less. In the imager, the mono, like all the way to almost a 400 hertz here. I brought it all the way down to mono. A little bit band widening in this mid area, and usually towards the high frequencies you can go a little wider with your sounds. Then I have oversampling on some tape saturation. I usually only add it to my sub, so on the mid. Let's hear the difference. If I turn this off, can you hear that? That it adds a bit of distortion. So it kind of sounds like a soft clipper. But you know, if you would crank this up, you would hear the effect a lot more. I can do that, by the way. Just gives it that little in a little bit higher, in the higher sub area. So that also, and this is useful for the sub area. I don't know exactly where it is. I guess somewhere between 100 and 200. If you put some saturation on your sub or on your basses in that area, that will still be heard in like bad systems, like on a phone or out of a laptop speaker or out of a tablet speaker. Because obviously there's no sub bass in tablet speakers or laptop speakers. But if you add a bit of tape saturation or other type of saturation to your sub, not too much, just a tiny bit, so you're not ruining your bass harmonics, your bass foundation, sorry. Then you can really add a bass feeling to worse sound systems. But like, really keep in mind that your original sub bass sound doesn't get destroyed by adding distortion or saturation. Alright, so I think let me know if you guys have any more questions. But like for me, it's 9:15 and I gotta call it a day. I think I went through pretty much everything. As you guys can see, yeah, not highly advanced, but definitely it was a really fun project to work on. Insane vocals by Robbie. Big up to Infinite for doing this track with me. We've been friends for years already. Like, we've known each other since a gig in Paris an eternity ago. And it was really dope to do this with Robbie. You guys should check out all his music. Thanks for the Master Chain view. You're welcome. Camel Crusher. I don't use Camel Crusher a whole lot anymore. I used to, but it's right to do ridiculous things on sound. It really is. I mean, experiment all you want. There's nobody that's gonna stop you from experimenting. Do ridiculous stuff, man. As long as it sounds good, you know what I mean? Magic, do you clip sounds in your project on purpose? Since you've got a limiter on your master. I mean, on purpose, not per se. It's just more, if you start with ozone on your master, you kind of forget as well that you have it on, and so you're just like, while you're producing, you're just cranking. And if you would turn ozone off, like, I'll show you. I'll turn ozone off.
I'm pulling up with spaghetti. Yeah, it's time we bring this heat to the streets. About to do some proper.
So that's clipping. That's clipping like crazy. If you don't do it too crazy, then it should keep your levels normal. But it's good to every now and then, if you are using this on your master channel, any sort of limiting or compression, you should definitely go back and forth every now and then, turn it off and on, and hear if your volume is not being pushed down because you have too much clipping in your project going on. Usually it will be your kick and your snare or your sub bass. It's a matter of going back and forth and check it with and without, you know? Yeah, you're welcome, Robbie, man. It was fun. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate you. What do you use to keep from clipping your master? So I have dynamics in Ozone turned on, which is basically a multiband compressor. Oh. Let me just close all the screens. So it's this. Like, I'm not very good with compression in the mid and the side. That's an area that I haven't touched much myself. But you can also like go to the mid and side and compress your mid and side different. But I'm not going to be teaching you guys that kind of stuff. That's very advanced. Robbie is crazy at sound design. He is good. Robbie is good at dope bass grooves as well. You have saturation on your sub after the dynamics, so wouldn't that add harmonics make you clip? Yes, probably. But that's why I only do it. That's why I do it on hearing. That's really the end. In the end, I do it in this order because I know that this is where it's not clipping, and here this is always very minimal what I do here. Like, this is not gonna make things clip, and if it does, you will hear it. You know what I mean? You might add in the end another post equalizer or dynamic EQ is very dope in Ozone as well. So you can have this act as a an upward or a downward compressor. Well, I'm using Ozone 7 here. Nowadays, I actually have Ozone 9, but because this project started with 7, I just kept 7 on it. 7 is really nice too. Deep dry, is that another mastering process like for limiting true peak, or everything is done by Ozone? Limiting true peak? No, then you would have to go into maximizer, and here you have true peak limiting. So you could turn that on. That's for sure. I don't really do it. I only do it if I think it's necessary, but I just go by hearing. Yo, people, I'm gonna call it a day. Thank you all so much for joining. I don't have chat. I don't have chat in my screen. Normally I have chat here next to my screen. Yo, I gotta call it a day. It's very late for me here. I gotta shut up. Have fun in the Q&A of Company Samplifier. Thank you so much for tuning in. I recorded this and I'm gonna try to upload this later. Just stay tuned to my social media and Never Say Die's social media. Please follow me, guys, on Twitch /Spag Heddy Music. And the link will come after this. Yeah, stay tuned to my social media, people. Thank you so much for joining. And Never Say Die, thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate that I could hijack your Twitch right now. It was super, super dope. There's such a mad delay in the stream. Yo, Magic, I appreciate your compliments. THP Games, thank you. Album dropping, no comments. Alright, sweet. I'm out, people. Be safe. Please be safe. Wear masks. Wash your hands. Don't cough to people. And please be safe and be nice to each other so that we all can be healthy and throw shows again as soon as possible and we can all party again together, because, man, we all miss each other. Much love. Once again, thank you, Never Say Die, for this time for me. And yes. Keep streaming face to face. Thank you, everybody. I hope you digged it, and hope to see you next time. Bye.